Hello YouTube, I'm installing a Champion 3-core aluminum radiator. I've looked in all of the internals of it and can tell that all of the fins are straight. It doesn't look like there are any problems with it. Can't really get a good picture. I apologize for that. I'm installing it into a 1987 Camaro with a 350. I've cleaned out the radiator bracket there and have trimmed out the rubber isolators down low. You can see where the isolators fit. They fit on the sides right here. On the ends where the tanks are. And really all I've done is just square out this area right in here. Just cut it out with a utility knife. This is the one with the transmission cooler. The radiator has come with this block-off plate for the heater core. So if you don't have a heater core, you can screw that in, that bolt in, and it has a supplied O-ring on it. I have a heater core and I will be running it. I've just set it in, and when you put it in and trim out the isolators, you have to kind of rock it back and forth to get it to fit down in there. I found that with the holder bracket that it sets up about 3/4 of an inch from the frame here, but I'll just add some spacers and bolt it in because it does clear the hood of the Camaro. It may not with the Firebird. These are the top isolators that go under the plastic bracket. What I've done is I've squared them off, and all of them, even the lower ones, you see there's a ridge right here on the side and then a ridge over here on the other side, and I've just made it flush with this wall and come down and trim where it started to curve up right here for the original radiator. So I've trimmed it and I've just squared it up. I'm going to try these out and see how the plastic bracket on the top fits with it. So when you're fitting them down from the top on there, you kind of have to squeeze them down, and then they work, but it's still a little bit too high for me. So in fitting the top isolators, I'm trimming more out just to give it a little bit of an edge to go up against where the front, here's the front, and then here's the back where the fans are, to give it a little bit more rim. It just wasn't sitting on there quite deep enough for me. So I'm trimming off to where I leave a little bit between the isolator and then the plastic holder bracket. So I'll finish trimming this off right here. So before I trim the isolators, the rubber isolators, it stuck up, the bracket stuck up about 3/4 of an inch, and now it sticks up about 3/8 of an inch more. I put a little nut in there to space it, and here's the rubber isolator and how much I trimmed off from this side. I trimmed off more from this side towards the engine, just so that it would fit in there. You can see how it's kind of angled up a little bit, but all in all, it's in there pretty good. It's not, I don't have a worry that it's gonna move or anything like that. But whenever you work it in there, you really have to, in the bottom isolators, you really have to kind of wiggle it back and forth to get it in. In my case, I had a really long screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, that I could reach down in there to get it to fit, and it's pretty big. But I mean, you might not have something like that, but you can improvise. This thing's about 22 inches, 22 inches long, so it comes in handy every now and then. And then I used the X-Acto knife, the small one, really small blade, just to cut it. Just be careful. This was a little bit, the utility knives, it would work with a sharp blade. I found the X-Acto to be a little bit easier. The nut I used to space it with was this 5/16 18 hex nut. It's just something I had laying around. You can use anything. You can use some washers if you have them lying around. But that's what I used. So I got it up and running. It took about 2¼ gallons of antifreeze. I had to check it was cold here, and I'm in Houston, so it was cold and then hot within a few weeks. So just check your connections whenever you put it together. It was leaking out of the bottom pipe there, and then I had a small leak on the hose that goes to the engine. But 2¼ gallons. It's working really good. Really can't wait till summer to see how it cools then. But all in all, a pretty good purchase. Thanks for watching.